Monday. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into PC Radio. Before we get started here, I just want to mention Law Dog Coffee. Okay, Law Dog Coffee Company. If your heroes wear capes, just know that ours wear blue. They wear a badge. And Law Dog Coffee, if you support law enforcement, is the only coffee that you should drink. Maybe you are a cop, or maybe you just want to show your support for law enforcement families. A portion of all the proceeds from Law Dog Coffee purchases go to the Wounded Blue. And that is a big deal. Law Dog Coffee Company has helped over 6,000 law enforcement families through providing help and assistance to those who have lost a cop in their family or who have been wounded in the line of duty. They provided service dogs. They're getting into more of that now. Law Dog Coffee Company, not only is it a great cause, but it's just great coffee. And I'm really glad that I found Law Dog Coffee. I'm glad that Ray Dietrich got a hold of me, and we are now a proud affiliate. If you want to purchase some Law Dog Coffee, you get 10% off right now by using the promo code PCRadio. Just go to lawdogcoffee.com. Lawdogcoffee.com. That's lawdogcoffee.com.
Censored by Twitter, shadow banned on Facebook, and hated by fake news media. The patriotically correct radio show with Stu and Rich. Mojo 50 Radio.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a Monday. I like it. Welcome inside of PC Radio here on this Monday afternoon. Clout Hub. We are now on Clout Hub. And if you have not heard of Clout Hub, you got to get over there. Channel 200 live on Clout Hub. Listen, Richard, Facebook wants to take us all down. Twitter wants to take us all down. So the only thing that we have left is alternative sources of media. If you want to know the truth, if you're part of the Relentless Truth Seeker Squad, the RTSS, the Truth Brigade, if you want to know real news, real truth, uncensored, unfiltered, you got to get over there and get yourself a Clout Hub account. Man, I have been, I've been in Clout Hub here now for, I don't know, I suppose a couple of weeks. And yep. you have an account. Boy, that thing is awesome. What a great app. And open it up and take a look at it. Really easy to navigate. It has Facebook beat hands down, and there's a lot of really exciting things coming on Clout Hub. I was on a Zoom meeting with the CEO of Clout Hub late last night, and they're experiencing now. When Facebook first came out, they were getting, when Parler first came out, Parler was getting a couple of hundred new ads a day, new subscriptions. Clout Hub is getting a couple of thousand new subscriptions a day.
That's sweet, man. We got clout. PC Radio has clout.
Yes, Clout Hub, channel 200. Go over there and get yourself a Clout Hub account. Alternative media sources are huge right now in the wake of the Hunter Biden story. Now, the mainstream media is calling the Hunter Biden story Russian misinformation campaign. Rudy Giuliani has been compromised by the Russians, and that is why Hunter Biden smokes crack and meth. That's why he engages in child pornography. That's why he engages in prostitution. That's why he went to the Ukraine and took $3.5 million out of there. He took money out of China. He took money out of Russia. He took money from the ex-mayor of Moscow's wife or husband or whatever it was. The corruption in Hunter Biden and his family is all the Russians' fault, and we're supposed to believe all of this. In the meantime, Twitter shutting down the press secretary for the White House, shutting down her account completely, her Twitter account, and not allowing the White House to deliver any news or messages or direct communication to the American people. The Twitter account then for the New York Post was suspended. The Post itself wasn't able to do anything. And then the story itself on the Hunter Biden thing, completely gone. Can't do it, can't share it. Anybody who tries to share it gets immediately banned. Ray Dietrich from America's Keepers, that network, completely shut down. 2.5 million followers, totally gone. His income completely destroyed. A small business shut down, including a nonprofit that donates to the Wounded Blue. They provide service dogs for people with PTS and PTSD, veterans of law enforcement and veterans of our military. They help the families of fallen officers. They've specifically through Law Dog Coffee Company, which is an affiliate here for PC Radio. They have officially helped over 6,000 law enforcement families, and this business has been completely shut down by Facebook. Ray Dietrich cannot post to any of his groups or any of his business pages as a result of the censoring that's being done by big tech. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a sad day. Such a great program. Well, all of his programs, all of the things that he was doing for all these folks, and it's just overnight. It seemed like it was gone.
Yeah,
it is gone overnight.
We didn't get to this last week, but you sent me a video. Charlie Kirk is just he's a very critical thinker, really good dude to listen to, and he kind of wanted to warn about this censoring. And let's take a look at what or listen here to what Charlie Kirk was talking about.
What does victory in the culture war look like?
What does a victory in the culture war look like? My goodness, a generation of young people that are more thankful than angry to live in America. And that's the shortest answer I can give. But I think that we have a gratitude crisis in our country. I think that all good things come from being thankful. If you think about it, when you are happier, you're usually thankful that something happened to you or something is around you. And you should be thankful every day. You live in a great country. Hopefully you're generally healthy. In fact, we're the least thankful country. That's also the wealthiest country. Go figure that one out. I mean, we're full of ingratitude, yet we have things really well and really good in our country, I should say. The things are terrific. So that's an interesting point. So the culture war also is, I want a country where everyone can speak their mind without having some sort of cost against them.
Right.
I think that we need to have a country where you can wear your MAGA hat without being kicked out of class, without being kicked off of social media, or being socially isolated. That would be a victory where the self-censorship crisis ends. And that's the other thing, everybody, is that do not...
Here it is. Listen to this.
Do not self-censor. Do not shut yourself up. That's a very important thing. Somebody might be trying to shut you up, but then the moment that you're like, I'm not going to wear the Trump shirt because I'm afraid of how people are going to look at me in the grocery store. Or I'm not going to wear, my Jesus Christ is Lord shirt because I'm afraid that I might get some funny looks.
Yeah, and that is the exact thing that we were talking about last Friday, inspired by Charlie Kirk. And he hit the nail right on the head there. How many instances have you been? I mean, and I know that you and I are different, Richard, and we don't, listen, I could give a shit less, to be honest with you, what anybody thinks. Matter of fact, I went to Runnings over the weekend on Saturday in my pajama pants. I was that guy. I did. And people looking at me, and I'm like, I'm like, yep, that's me over here getting some tie downs, getting some straps, getting some, I had to get some bar oil for my chainsaw.
In your pajamas?
Yep,
just printing.
In my pajama pants, printing. You got it, man. Yep, mushroom stamping for free. And I tell you, I'm just to the point where I just don't give a shit anymore. Yeah. And I think that Charlie Kirk is exactly right. Your son, he has a MAGA hat, right?
Yeah, he's got all kinds of Trump stuff.
And does he wear it to school?
Staunch supporter.
Yeah. Does he wear it to school?
He does, yeah, and by his accounts, he gets some flack from people, but he's pretty good at, much like I am, at knowing how to press the right buttons of people, and I think that he does fine. The second though, he gets asked to take it off or not to wear it to school by some teacher or some administrator, then we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
But it seems like so far they've been supportive of his views. I don't think that he's an asshole about it. I don't think he's throwing it in people's faces. I think he just wears it, and when people give him dirty looks or make comments, he just smiles and waves at them and goes about his day. So he's pretty good with that.
I was talking to Jack Dunn. He's the director of political affairs for Bikers for Trump, and we've had him on the show here before. Yeah. They rode up to northern Minnesota. And there were two rallies simultaneous that happened this weekend, but one of them was in northern Minnesota. It was snowing in the morning, but that didn't stop these bikes from going up here to this right. Trump event. Mind you, no Trump family members or campaign people in town at the time. This is just a grassroots show your support for the president and his reelection event. And he wrote to me and he was saying that it was really cool because it was very grassrootsy. It was an open mic forum where they had about 15 speakers that hit the stage up there, and they opened up and they just talked about the reasons why they support the president versus, the reasons why they don't want to see a Joe Biden presidency. They don't like socialism. They don't like communism. They don't like fascism. They don't like totalitarianism. They're not down for nationwide mask mandates and lockdowns. The CDC and the World Health Organization are coming out and saying that the lockdowns are just not the answer. It's not going to work. They're coming out and saying that masking, doctors are saying, hey, this masking thing, it just doesn't work. It doesn't stop the small viral, infections from transmitting. And so this grassroots type movement, you were a part of this over the weekend. You were at Gorman's at an event with Rocky Stucci. How did that go?
It was awesome, man. Rocky had the owner of the restaurant on his show to begin, and this guy has sacrificed a lot by putting Trump signs all over his yard, the yard of his restaurant, and in his windows, and flying Trump flags and supporting all the GOP candidates in the area. And he flat out says, I don't care. I don't care what popular opinion is. I'm a business owner. He was talking about how he didn't take the PPP money to keep his business open. He said, my customers kept us afloat, and they believed in us, and they kept coming to eat and getting food to go, or whatever the case may be. And it was great. And he just, Rocky had a lot of people there, and he gave everybody the opportunity to be heard if they wanted to come sit in the chair, talk in the mic about what patriotism means to them. It was great. It was a really great event.
You sat down in the chair.
I did. Yeah.
I just saw a short video that was sent to me by the wife, and I didn't get to watch the whole event as it was daddy daycare all weekend, and I was running around in my pajama pants printing with mushroom stamps all over town. So I was a little tied up, needless to say, but it sounded like to me that it was a really good event, and we have a big event coming up. Rocky is going to be at this one as well, October 25th. It is the Minnesota Freedom Rally in Waldorf, Minnesota at JR's Barn. Kicks off with a prayer at 10 a.m. You and I are going to speak. Joy Villa is going to be there. We've heard that Jason Lewis may possibly attend. Jeremy Munson, he is a state representative. He's been on our show a couple of times. He's going to be there speaking. There's going to be blow-up bounce houses there for kids. There's going to be a monster truck there to smash cars. It's a kid and family-friendly event. We're hoping for great weather. But come hell or high water, we're having the event.
Yep.
And damn it, if Jack Dunn and all those guys on motorcycles can ride just in a morning where it snowed in 35-degree weather on a 3-hour ride in northern Minnesota, I am not going to be the pussy that bitches and complains about maybe a little bit of rain or a little bit of snow or something like that. I mean, shit. We're going to make this thing happen. Get your Carhartts out. And, come and just enjoy an event that celebrates freedom. In a world where everybody wants to be a victim and nobody wants to be a victor, which brings me to my next point. We're going to try to get this girl on our show. Her name is Lee Guest, and I came across this from another, I guess, a radio station brother from Mojo 50 Radio sent this over to us and brought this to my attention. I guess this young lady was a guest on Off Track. And I didn't have the opportunity to see or listen to that, but she wrote this song, and we get so caught up in the negatives. It's really easy, with the COVID-19 deal and everything. And by the way, I wanted to say something about COVID. As an investigator myself, and as somebody who works in the law enforcement field and has for a very long time, specifically in bail enforcement and fugitive investigations. You have to look at evidence, right? And one of the first, investigations 101 is to follow the money. If you want to know who did something, right, what you got to think about is who benefits the most from this?
Yeah.
And so from the COVID standpoint, I'd like to know who's benefiting the most from this, because this is a sham and this is a crime. Anyway, Lee Guest, and We have her on Facebook. I sent her a friend request. She hasn't responded yet, probably because she thinks I'm a creep. But anyway, I'll probably end up sending her some messages and stalking her until we get her on the show. But this is a song that I want you guys to hear.
Friends, patriots, and music lovers, Lee Guest coming at ya. I have been doing a lot of reflecting lately about the current victim culture that we live in. Everybody wants to be a damn victim. But you can't be a victim and a victor at the same time. You have to pick one, and I would much rather be a victor. I think it's a much wiser decision. Anyway, so thinking about all that, I wrote a song, and I know that speaking out about this might not be the most popular thing to do right now.
Who cares, girl? Get
but
it.
I think that in crazy times, speaking your truth is much more important than being popular. So here's the victims of
That's right.
2020.
All right, turn this up, everybody.
We're all victims. In 2020, everybody's oppressed and nothing's funny. Words cut deep and cause depression. End free speech and it's microaggressions. Yeah, we're victims. Let's cash out. Hard work's hard, so how about a handout? If he failed, you must have kicked him. Can't be his fault, he's a victim. Yeah, in 2020.
We need to get her to Waldorf.
We're all victims.
That'd be
In
sweet.
2020, yeah, we're victims. In 2020, if you fail, it must be the system. It can't be your fault, you're the victim, yeah. In 2020, yeah. They'll destroy your life if you disagree. You gotta silence that majority. Don't speak out, and if you do, they're gonna sick the pack dogs after you. There's an angry mob headed to your town. They wanna burn your cities down. Just sit back while they steal and pillage. You ain't successful, you're just privileged, yeah. In 2020. We're all victims. In 2020, yeah, we're victims. In 2020, if you fail, it must be the system. It can't be your fault, you're the victim, yeah. In 2020.
I love it. Lee Guest. And we want to extend the invitation
We're all victims, you should feel the same.
to be on this show.
If you don't, we'll just call you names. Like racist, ignorant, supremacist, terrorist, bigot, fanatic, traitor, conspiracist, coon, white privilege, Nazi, trailer trash. Call me names, I'm okay with that. Cause I'm not playing your victim game, and I'm not drinking this Marxist Kool-Aid.
Yeah, get it, girl. The official invitation, Lee Guest, to be on the Patriotically Correct radio show. That is absolutely a phenomenal song. And I feel like at the end there, when she was naming everything, she was actually talking about me. I've been called all those things. I think that you've been called a few of those things.
Those are those socially fashionable words that we use now that don't mean shit anymore other than a label.
Yeah. A racist, a bigot. What else did she say? White trash.
Fascist?
Yeah,
Trailer
fascist.
park trash
There
was
you go.
my
Trailer park
favorite.
trash, yes. Speaking of burning towns down and being an angry mob, I just while I'm extending invitations, I want to reiterate my public invitation to John Thompson. You're more than welcome to be on the show here. Here, take a look at the logo. This is the Patriotically Correct radio show. Okay, there it is. Come on board, and I would love to have you here, John Thompson. Running.
Maybe he
for
doesn't know where to find us.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
He's at work.
I think I've tagged him and tweeted at him before, and he's been tagged on our Facebook page. I think he's been invited in every realm that you can possibly think. What are you laughing about?
I said maybe he's at work.
Yeah. It's so racist.
I digress.
So anyway, John Thompson, you are invited on the program to tell us why you want to burn Hugo down and what makes Bob Kroll such a racist. And I'd love to hear about the systemic racism that's in law enforcement, that exists in law enforcement. I'd like to talk about how fatherless homes don't play a role in any of that. We've discussed Larry Elder. We've discussed, you had a phenomenal writing that was published on the OpsLens website, opslens.com, and it was posted all over Twitter. I shared the hell out of that thing. You hit the nail right on the head with that. And It is. That's the biggest problem I think that we face in black communities, and in the ghettos, and in the hood, and in depressed, economically suffering neighborhoods like Detroit and like the south side of Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Seattle, Portland, all these places that are burning and on fire. Minneapolis. It's all because of Democratic leadership, and these are in these places. It's not a coincidence that every single one of these places is controlled by a liberal Democrat who's been hijacked, and the party's been hijacked by progressive radicals who have an agenda to bring fascism and socialism to the United States. They call themselves the Democratic Socialists. Well, we all know that you can't have democracy and socialism at the same time, so it's just a fancy word to try to make you feel good about socialism. I've seen kids holding up banners, Richard, in the street at protests that say the only answer for the United States is socialism. These are the people that are going to be running our country, and they actually believe in these things. Last night, you and I were having a conversation off the air, and I was talking to you about some quotes that George Soros has had, specifically that the real threat to the world is a successful America, and that a strong America is the biggest threat to global peace.
Yes.
We're actually the only thing that's keeping the globe peaceful right now, and there would be war all over the place right now had it not been for Donald Trump. We know the Democrats are warmongers. These were the people that said that if Trump was elected president, we'd be at war immediately. Well, what happened in North Korea? We were supposed to be at war with them. World War III was supposed to start like the day after the Donald Trump presidency went into effect, and all we've done is bring troops home and end wars. We did keep some oil, which I think is great. And Donald Trump talks about that openly. One thing that we don't talk about enough here is the positive side of everything that is going on. It's really easy to dive into the negatives. Yeah, but we should start talking about some positives. How have you, Richard, been positively affected by, I don't know, let's just go with the COVID lockdowns? There's got to be something positive about it.
Well, some services have become more accessible. I shouldn't say more accessible, but more convenient. I really enjoy being able to sit on the throne and drink my morning coffee.
Wait, I thought you didn't do that. Hold on a second now. You said that you didn't do that. You don't drink coffee when you're on the shitter.
I didn't say the shitter. I said my throne, which is my recliner.
No. We all know what the throne is. We know.
Well, I didn't
Listen,
mean it in that context.
The relentless truth seekers are going to expect me to hold your feet to the fire and call you out on this bullshit. You drink coffee on the shitter.
I do not. Absolutely do not. When I say my throne, you can ask anybody in my house. When I say I'm going to the throne, it means I'm going to my recliner.
It means something
the
different in my
shitter
house.
is the shitter. I absolutely do not drink coffee.
It definitely means something different here.
It's like eating a turd.
No, it is not. No, it's not. If you shut the lid before you flush, you should be just fine. Okay.
But I like ordering my groceries and having somebody deliver them. I'm cool with tipping an extra $7 or $8 to have somebody bag and deliver my groceries, because the grocery store is one of the worst activities to do. But it's necessary, right? You got to eat, you got to provide food for the family, and blah, 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 blah. So things like that, I think there's a lot of ways that we've benefited.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice if bars would give you to-go cups nowadays too, so you can bring your Manhattan home and enjoy it at the dinner table.
Yeah, can I get curbside pickup? I'll take a dirty martini. Extra olives, please.
But you have to promise not to drink it in the car, is the problem.
I solemnly swear. I will scrupulously adhere to the letters of the law and to all the guidelines of the road. I just got a message from Lee Guest, the girl that we were playing, and she said, "Hey, Stu, Kinsey messaged me and said you might want me on your show. Plus, I just saw myself on your show. Totally awesome. Shoot me some details when you get a chance. We'll get something planned. Love the name of your show."
There it is.
Well, we're never going to be politically correct. I 100% guarantee you that. My wife has really loved taking advantage of the grocery orders. You can sit at home, and yesterday, I kind of did a mini Thanksgiving dinner yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
you should bring leftovers to work tonight.
But with a chicken. And so the way that we get our chickens is I get them from a guy named Jerry who lives out in the country, and he raises free-range organic chickens. It's kind of actually quite hilarious. You go out there, and these chickens are running around all over the place. They've got no cages. They've got no pens. They just run around. I don't know how he keeps the coyotes and the fox from getting these chickens. They must be some pretty fierce chickens, and they have to be, because I'm telling you, these sons of bitches are like 9 pounds. These chickens, they're chickens. They're not turkeys. They're chickens. They're 9 pounds. And so yesterday I did my father has a great green bean casserole recipe. Excuse me. Dave
That's
can.
such a dad thing.
Dad can cook.
Yeah.
You've had Dave's food. Dad can really cook the hell out of some stuff. And anyway, but we did it with the fresh green beans, came from our garden. And so we gardened this year, and it was pretty sweet. So we did that, and then I did a new recipe called smashed potatoes. It's Scotty's recipe, and Scotty is a great cook. I don't think I did them quite right. I didn't add enough seasoning and butter. Next time I'm going to season the shit out of these things. I love things that have a lot of taste. But unfortunately, I've got this sudden loss of taste and smell. I don't have any idea what's going on. In the second half, we're going to talk more about
meatballs.
Yeah. In the second half, we're going to talk more about the COVID lockdowns, and we're going to have a Hunter Biden bombshell coming up on PC Radio. My name is Stu. Don't go anywhere. Hey, it's Stu Peters for Johnson Jewelers, located in Woodbury, Minnesota, but more importantly, located online worldwide at johnsonjewelers.com. Why is that important to you? Well, because if you have been left behind, or you have discovered a family heirloom or something that's important to you, maybe it's grandma's birthstone, or maybe it's a pendant or a family crest, maybe it's grandpa's ring, but it doesn't quite fit you, or maybe it needs to be restored, or you see something completely different in mind. Why shove that thing in a safety deposit box? Why put it aside, or put it in a shadow box, or just break it out every once in a while to show the grandkids? Instead, you could wear that with a custom piece of jewelry designed for you, specifically by johnsonjewelers.com. A quick visit to the website, a couple of emails exchanged, and maybe a few phone calls, and you will have that custom piece of jewelry that means something for you. Visit them online, worldwide, johnsonjewelers.com, johnsonjewelers.com. That's johnsonjewelers.com.
Prop 25 ends our right to put up bail for anyone, even though they may have been racially profiled. Prop 25 replaces bail with computer algorithms. Academic studies show that these algorithms are biased. Some call them black boxes. And Prop 25's new bureaucracy delays justice for innocent people stuck in jail. The NAACP asks you to vote no on Proposition 25.
I don't think that there's a lot of things that would have happened in my life if my last name wasn't Biden.
Like your investment firm striking a $1 billion deal with a Chinese-owned bank 10 days after you and Joe visit, and collecting over $80,000 a month from a Ukrainian energy company after your father was named point man on Ukraine.
It is impossible for me to be on any of the boards that I just mentioned without saying that I'm the son of the Vice President of the United States.
The question is not why Hunter Biden used his name to get these gigs. It's why Joe Biden let him do it.
The enemy of progressive politicians and politically correct assholes. PC Radio. Worldwide at the PCRadioshow.com.
Welcome back into the second half of PC Radio. My name is Stu. That guy over there is Richard. Yes, I like that. We've got to let all of our affiliates join us here. So just coming back in on Cloud Hub Channel 200, we're broadcasting live on Facebook. Yeah. We are on iHeartRadio. That's Mojo 50. If you have iHeart, just search the station Mojo 50. Lots of great programming on Mojo 50 Radio, by the way, including things like Brad Staggs and Ron Phillips in the morning. Producer Ron, Brad Staggs, they're great. Like them a lot. Critical Thinking with Andrew Coppins, Rocky Stucci, The Rants of Izzo. All kinds of great programming, and if I'm forgetting you, I'm sure that I am, because there's it's a 24-hour radio station, so just make sure that you get over there. Town Hall broadcasts the news headlines. And our big headline right now is October 25th. Make sure that you do not forget that on October 25th, we are going to be... Oops, I'm hitting wrong buttons here. October 25th, we are going to be down in Waldorf. And, you know what's going on here? I think I know what's going on here. Hold on a second. I just got to fix something here. Hold on. Let me just... all right, there we go. Our logo was showing up on the screen. It's tough because we do a radio show. And doing a radio show is fine, and it's fun, and I like it, and we've definitely got plenty of experience in doing radio shows between all of us. But doing the TV thing is kind of new, and so dealing with what's happening on the screen and knowing that people are watching me do a radio show is, I don't know, it can be kind of anxiety filling. But anyway, listen.
You're doing great.
Thank you. I couldn't do it without you and Intern Boy. We will, by the way, I heard Intern Boy is not going to be able to make it October 25th. Is that true?
Yes, I heard the same thing. And I am going to restart my campaign to defund Intern Boy, for Christ's sake. He can't get anywhere on time.
Well, it's not like he's getting paid a whole lot.
Well, but he still made a commitment.
He did. I mean, he's here. He's doing his thing. He's chatting with people on Facebook, I guess, if that's... What exactly?
Here, but is he really here?
What exactly does he hope to gain from this internship? Is what I would like to know. Is this going to skyrocket him?
Good guys.
It's going to catapult him into this illustrious career of wealth and fame, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
We've got some new swag coming as well. It's going to be available in our store upcoming. I'm just waiting on some of the designs to come back. We're going to have neck gaiters. We're going to have hoodies. We're going to have T-shirts. We're going to have coffee cups. I only drink out of one coffee cup, but anyway.
Hey, before we continue real quick, I think that this person deserves a real quick shout out, and I'd like to give a nice quick shout out to your wife. I applaud her culinary skills as it relates to her meatball making. Now we can continue. Thank you, Marie.
What the hell is that all about?
Well, I think that she deserves some credit. She makes great meatballs. Everyone loves them. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about food before the break. And so now we can continue. Just wanted to say thank you for her dedication to great meatballs.
All right. October 25th, Waldorf, Minnesota. It's near Mankato, JR's Barn. The event is on our Facebook page. I'll pin it to the top so that you don't have to go through a bunch of bullshit to find it. But we're going to be there speaking. Joy Villa's going to be there. Jeremy Munson's going to be there. There's other podcasters that'll be there. Rocky Stucci will be there. And possibly Jason Lewis, who's running for Senate. He's a tough guy to get a hold of and a tough guy to get to come around. But, he's been invited on this show, and I'm telling you, if I was in a dead heat race, I would want to be speaking to every Tom, Dick, and Harry with a microphone. Maybe he knows something that I don't. Maybe the polls are, similar to 2016, where it was inevitable that Hillary Clinton was going to be our president, and the polls now look just like they looked the night that Donald Trump won the presidency. So I'm hoping that there's some validity to the speculation that these polls are not what they say they are. And I guess when I was bringing up Jack Dunn and Bikers for Trump in the first half of today's show, I think that is exactly where I was going and just kind of got lost on my entrails of brain work. But the grassroots stuff that's going on with Donald Trump is unlike anything that we've ever seen before leading up to a presidential election. And to go and look at Biden, okay, so for example, Joe Biden came out for his big rally where 85 people showed up. And let's just say this. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, because I guess I don't know if I misheard that. I guess it could be 850. So let's just say that nearly 1,000 people showed up. I mean, we're talking 15 to 20,000 people that are permitted to come inside of every Trump rally and event. And then there's several tens of thousands outside of the event that are not able to get in. And when you go to a Trump event, they ask you a specific list of questions. Who did you vote for in the last election? Have you voted before? I don't know all of the polls that they give to these people, but some of the statistics that we're seeing are pretty mind-blowing, because you look at 16% of the people on average that go to these Trump events did not vote in the last election in 2016.
No, they didn't vote because they were too young or they didn't like either candidate.
I guess I don't know the answer to that. It's just that they didn't vote. But that's 16% of the electorate, or at least 16% of the Trump rally attendees that were not there and did not count 4 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
24% of the people on the average that are attending these things are registered Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty big.
Hashtag walk away, brother.
We see a lot of that. And, not only are people like Brett Coconatus walking away and then actually running on the GOP ticket, doing the most patriotic thing that you can possibly do, which is run for office. But also, I mean, all of these people that are historically supporters of the Democratic Party are starting to realize, what has this party done for me lately?
And, that's a great question. I think everybody, even the folks that are on our side of the aisle, those are all questions you need to ask yourself when you're deciding who to vote for. And I think that, as people who hold seats in various offices change over, those are always good things to ask yourself, man. And do kind of check yourself and do an audit of the people that you support. I think that sometimes as voters and just as people, we get caught up in the things that are important to us, and then life gets busy and you forget some of that stuff. And so when election seasons roll around, which are every 2 years, ask yourself, what have the people that I'm voting for done for me? And you know what? If your mind has changed and you end up voting for the other side of what you usually vote for, then so be it. But I think that I tend not to get all caught up in Republican or Democrat. I think that I'm a pretty middle of the road leaning right. But I think that it's important to know where you stand, and know what's important to you, and to do your research and become educated on the people that are supposed to be providing you these things, and vote accordingly.
Are you a party line voter?
What do you mean by that?
Well, so when you go to the booth and you start pulling the lever or start checking the boxes, do you just go straight down the R's?
No, but I will say that I don't always. So like the local people here, I don't do as much research about them as I do my congressmen, my senators, my president.
All right.
And I probably should do more. County commissioners.
I was just going to say that. My challenge to you and my challenge to everybody listening is to get involved locally, because that's where all of this shit starts. Okay, mm-hmm. So when your kids are masking in school, that's because of your school board. So know who sits on that school board. Look at their history. I mean, if education isn't the most important thing, and listen, this is twofold, because I don't think education is the most important thing as far as setting up your success for the future in the way of college education. I don't believe that you learn how to be successful in a classroom. Okay, mm-hmm. But right. All of our kids and everybody in this country is required to graduate high school. Well, they should. Theoretically speaking, they're required to go to high school, and K through 12, right? That's the idea here, is that everybody completes, at bare minimum, that education. It's my opinion that in that environment, you are just basically learning how to learn. It's not that you're really going to apply these things in the future. I don't remember the last time I was doing this radio show or hunting down a fugitive and went, hold on a second, let me break out my algebra skills. So I don't think that everything that you learn in high school is something that you're going to necessarily apply in life. But what you're learning in high school and what you're learning K through 12 is you're learning how to absorb information, you're learning how to process it, and then you're learning how to apply that information. So you're basically learning how to assimilate, you're learning how to learn, and you're learning the tools that you need to socially interact with people. You're kind of learning a discipline, if you will, especially if you play sports in high school and you had a high school football coach like I did. There's plenty of discipline that happens there. And, there's a lot of things like about football, for example. Sure, Coach Hopkins was in the business of building football players, but more importantly, he was in the business of building character in young men. So those, if you have coaches that really understand that and they really apply that on a daily basis, and you're taking all that in, you are more, I believe, set up for success than the person that didn't play sports in high school. I think that organized sports teaches you competition, which is important. I mean, it's not supposed to feel good to lose. The participation trophies can lick my balls. I don't like that. Yeah. I think it's really doing an injustice and a great disservice to our kids by telling them, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to lose. No, it's not. It's supposed to feel shitty when you lose, and you're supposed to want to win. And if you apply that every day in your life, you're gonna be the Greg Skasnys of the world, where you find yourself incredibly successful, living down on Fort Myers Beach and not knowing what to do with all of the money that you have.
Oh dear.
By the way,
well, let me tell you, there was so yesterday at Rocky Stucci's event, there was a fella, and if you're listening, sir, I apologize, I forgot your name, but he's the drone guy. I do remember him saying he was the drone guy. He does all the drone footage of the events at Rocky and his people put on.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about, with his couple minutes on the microphone, he was talking about how when this presidential election is over and all this madness is starting to die down, that we as patriots and as voters, especially as parents, like you were just saying, Stu, we all need to take a really hard look at what's going on in our children's schools, the things that they're being taught or not taught for that matter, and the way in which they're being taught. For example, where we're at, where my kids go to school, they do online learning Monday and Wednesday, and they go to school Tuesday and Thursday, and they're supposed to be doing something on Friday, but nobody really knows what the hell that is. And they have 3 classes to focus on. So where are the other 4 classes or other 3 classes that they're supposed to have in one semester? And then next semester, when they supposedly are going to try to do school full time again, what they're going to have to do a full workload. These kids aren't learning shit right now.
Yeah.
Unless they take it upon themselves to read the book and really do the studying. And how many 15-year-olds who are stuck at home with an Xbox or a girlfriend or a cell phone with YouTube or whatever the hell it is are going to take it upon themselves to do a whole bunch of extra studying. And these kids want to go back to school. They don't want to be here at the house. My kids are so sick of taking care of the damn dog that they'd love to go to school for 12 hours a day.
I totally am empathetic to your situation. That's the exact same thing that's going on in the Peters household, except for I do have the ability to send my kids to school Monday through Friday. So they go every single day, and they are excited. Nolan and Eli love school. They do, and I don't know how long that'll last. I hope it lasts a long time. Eli especially, man. He gets so bummed out when he knows that tomorrow is Saturday or tomorrow is Sunday. That's because
he's a little ladies' man at school.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. But, I think let's look at the positive side of what you just said. They only have 3 classes. They're only going to school 2 days a week. They're not learning shit. But what about this? What about what they are learning that's more important than whatever would be in those other 4 classes? They're learning individual accountability. They're learning that they have to be self-starters and that they have to do this thing on their own because there's nobody there looking over their shoulder, right? To make sure that they're home. I mean, other than mom and dad, to get their homework done, to make sure that assignments are turned in on time. And so for a kid that really gets it and wants to embrace that I think if they choose to do post-secondary education and go to college, I think that this type of thing could actually be very beneficial to them in that, because when you go to college, you don't have a teacher looking, hey, remember that's due on Thursday at 2:00.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care. You're paying for this thing, and if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. And if you fail, you fail, and if you pass, great, here's your diploma. But I think so. There's definitely positives to be taken away from everything. I mean, obviously, the fake virus is a pain in everybody's ass. This thing that has a 99.8% survival rate. And we talked about your mother-in-law. Look at the president. The president wasn't supposed to live through this thing. He's in his middle 70s and he's super fat with a heart condition. And he beat the thing in 3 days, and he's dancing on stage in front of 25,000 people doing a rally that's supposed to last an hour, by the way, and goes 2 hours. So I think that, like I said before, that we've gone away from talking about the positives. That it's really easy to get trapped inside of this funk, and it really is. It's screwed up and it's messed up. Our country is just in shambles right now. We are a democracy on the brink of a complete decline and a total fall from grace. The United States could go dark, and if it goes dark, it's my prediction that it'll be the darkest nation the world has ever seen.
Yeah, it definitely has the potential to be quite a grim and sad time. And man, it is frustrating. I mean, because here we are, we never thought that when we were young men that we were going to have to face this type of thing, and here it is. You're approaching your mid to late 40s. I'm approaching my early 40s, and here we go. These are supposed to be the golden years of life. So hopefully it all turns around on November 4th, I think, is when the turnaround will start.
Why do you lie to our relentless truth seekers?
What do you?
I'm approaching I'm approaching my mid to late 40s.
Yeah.
Am I?
They're not too far away, bro.
Is that a fact? I'm approaching my late 40s. Is that a fact? Is that something that you're willing to stand on here? I'm 40.
Yeah.
I just turned 40.
Soon. Yeah, in 4 years you'll be in your mid 40s.
Okay. I'm not steadfastly approaching my middle 40s, and I'm not going to rush you. So, I mean, just because you're elderly with grown kids, listen, I know that misery loves company, but let's not lie to the people that depend on us for the truth. Cloud Hub Channel 200. Hope that you're over there watching us. It's our first day broadcasting live on our channel. If you don't have the Cloud Hub app, make sure that you go download that. We're getting away from Twitter. We're getting away from Facebook. And we're going also over to the Opslins app. So make sure that you download that thing. The Opslins app is cool because it gives you the opportunity to record your inside story. So if you're out and you see something burning, with some progressive radical starting some shit on fire, and the media won't be there because they don't want to tell the real story about that stuff happening because they want to say that these are mostly peaceful demonstrators. Oh, by the way, that guy just shot at a cop over there. If you can get that thing on here, you can actually stream that live to the PC Radio Show channel through the app, and then we can deliver your news as an independent journalist or part of the Truth Brigade right here on the Patriotically Correct Radio Show, which then streams live every single day at 4 o'clock p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. We may be looking at a time change as well. The networks are in talks right now. I don't know where we're going to be moving to, but it sounds like we're going to be trying to shift to a little bit more of a prime spot, where I guess our listenership is growing so exponentially that they want to move us into a spot where more people are not at work. Because at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, on the East Coast, a lot of people are just getting off work. They're getting into their car. Here at 4 o'clock Central Time, people are still at work. And then, of course, Mountain and Pacific Time, they're way behind, and they've got much of their work day left. I would speculate that that's why we're seeing such a tremendous amount of downloads through Spotify and through iTunes and through Apple Podcast and things like that, because people then are coming back to or subscribing to the PC Radio Show. And we thank all of you for being here, especially in our original audiences, which would include iHeartRadio on the Mojo 50 radio station. So we just appreciate having the opportunity and the platform here to be able to discuss these things with you. And we do, I've been tossing around the idea of actually opening the phone lines and allowing people to call in. We've done it a couple of days. What are your thoughts on that? Maybe you can, in the Facebook chat feed here while we're still here, or over on Clout Hub, maybe you could give us a little feedback, or on Twitter at Real Stu Peters or at Correct Radio. Give us your feedback on whether or not you think that would be, because to me, and here's why I've strayed away from it, is because we do a lot of great guests on this show, and we do a lot of experts, and we do a lot of talking on our own about the experiences that we have, because we're out there actually dealing with this stuff every day as it pertains to law enforcement. And we know, police procedure, and we have a lot of experts on in the field of law enforcement. But then we also have political people that are running for office, which I think it's important that we hear from them. We have social media experts here to talk to us about when Twitter is censoring the 4th largest publication in the country, and now they're calling it a tabloid newspaper because they released some dirt on Hunter Biden, who, by the way, is the son of the presidential candidate that the mainstream media wishes to protect and propel into this presidency so that they can get rid of him and then have a Kamala Harris. So opening the phone lines, I think, would give people an opportunity to vent and to bitch. But is that what you want to tune in and listen to? I don't know. I don't have any problems with it. We can definitely do that. But I just think we have so much going on here. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a horrible thing. I think that the issue becomes then, like you said, we have these great guests that we want to hear from, that the masses should be hearing from, especially voters. And we only have 1 hour,
Yeah.
and so that time gets eaten up real quick. And now if we take 3 calls, there our hour goes, because we all know that Stu's long-winded, I can be long-winded, and guests that call in certainly can be long-winded. And before you know it, our segment's over. We have a hard break. We come back from that hard break, and the next segment starts, and then it's over.
The next thing you know,
there's the show.
The next thing you know, it's over. There have been several people that are lobbying for us to have a second hour. We appreciate that. We'd love to be able to talk to you for 2 hours, but I just don't want to. It's just, I don't know. It's, we
could probably do 3 though if we had.
There's no question that we could do more time, and there's plenty of material and things to talk about. But listen, it's actually mentally draining and emotionally and physically exhausting, because we have to be in tune with everything that's going on. And when you're looking at a news cycle that is just forever changing, because journalists are on the hunt for one thing and one thing only, and that is a following. They're into the likes and the retweets and the followers and, the friends, I guess you would say, right? They need that in order to be the biggest and the best and the most influential media outlet in their space. And so they'll make shit up. I mean, they'll absolutely make it up. And then you have to start dissecting. In today's day, in 2020, you have to actually sit and think to yourself, okay, is this credible information? You're watching a news broadcast, and you have to ask yourself, is this credible information? And in most cases, it is not. And now look at the Hunter Biden thing. I promised a Biden bombshell. I was seeing this morning now that there's an FBI agent who investigates child pornography. And now this FBI agent is looking to get his hands on the computer, the laptop of Hunter Biden's that was recovered from this repair shop where it was dropped off and never picked up. Well, we can just speculate that if a guy that spends his whole career or is part of the FBI task force that deals with child pornography and he wants this laptop, we can speculate that there's something going on there. However, it's not been confirmed yet, and now the mainstream media wants to tell us again about how Rudy Giuliani has been compromised by the Russians, and he's a Russian asset, and that there's, election interference going on here. The only election interference that's going on here is by the mainstream media. The mainstream media refuses to actually bring you the truth, and then will make something up. And then when something comes out that could be damning, if Biden were to be elected, it may not be his health that takes him out of office prematurely. It may be because he's going to prison, right alongside of his son, right alongside of Hillary Clinton, right alongside of everybody who's actually been compromised by foreign countries, because there's no way that the Bidens don't owe China something. There's no way that the Bidens don't owe Ukraine something. There's no way that the Bidens don't owe something to Russia. They're taking all kinds of money, and the big man took a cut of it.
Absolutely.
There's no way that Joe Biden is on an 18-hour flight with his son Hunter to go overseas and then walk out of there with millions of dollars and not talk about it, or have him not taking his cut and not being involved. Come on, people. A little bit of critical thinking, a little bit of independent thinking, a little bit of free thinking here. Don't just listen to what daddy government and mommy media spoon feeds you every single day. Use your brain. Richard, if you and I are on an 18-hour road trip and we're going to catch a bad guy, we talk about that, right? We talk about how much we'd like to catch him because it's worth a lot of money. We talk about how much your cut's going to be, how much my cut's going to be, how much money we put into this, what our expenses are. That is the very thing that we talk about. We're always breaking down the bottom line because we are providers for our family. We have to know what kind of money we're going to earn. We don't just go jump into a business venture and never talk about it together. We didn't just all of a sudden one day appear on the radio. All of a sudden, boom, we got 1 million people we're talking to on iHeartRadio. We didn't do that without consulting, with ourselves and with our families. We talk about these things. That's what you do. So don't tell me for 1 second, I'm not buying it, that Joe Biden didn't know what was going on with Hunter and these illegal, corrupt, shady dealings with where he walked away with upwards of $85,000 a month from an energy company in Ukraine without any knowledge of the Ukraine or energy.
Well, it's common sense, man. It's absolutely, you are a complete and utter effing idiot if you're out there and you believe that Joe Biden had no clue what his son was doing, especially when he flew there with him on our plane, on the people's plane. If you believe that he didn't know and you're buying this bullshit story, then you should go to prison right with him. And on your way there, stop at a mirror and slap the shit out of yourself because you're a dummy. It's just complete. It's asinine that anybody would look at this. And what's even worse is that they're sitting in front of a camera, bold-faced lying to you, and they have no problems with it. They'd look you right in your eye, even if you were on your deathbed and you knew you were going to die and you're taking your last breath. They would look at you and say, you're going to make it. You're going to be okay.
Okay, and that's just our speculation, right? So, listen,
yeah.
I mean, now our speculation is backed up by, right, but our speculation is backed up by we have brains, right? And so there's some evidentiary suggestion that what you're saying is 100% true, that they're lying to you. How about this? Let's just say that our speculation is 100% wrong. What about what we do know? Which is Joe Biden specifically looks right at the camera and says, no, voters don't deserve to know my position on that, on court packing. What about when he looks directly at the camera or somebody interviewing him and he says, I'll tell you what my policy is going to be on that after the election is over? What?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So this is it's by his own actions that he's not being truthful or forthcoming. I mean, that is damning. It's right there. It's on TV. But they won't play it. They won't. It's not a story. It will never be a story because they're propping him up so much.
Well, and furthermore, Stu, over all these years that you and I have been working together, would you agree with me that we've put thousands of people in jail?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. How many of them are smart enough and aren't full enough of themselves to do all this bullshit that they're doing out on the street and then not brag about it or talk about it to somebody? How many people do we arrest who are criminals that have never spoke about their crimes to anybody?
Zero. I think zero.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all talking to their buddies and their boys and the girl and the homies and all that other shit about the things they did. This dude talked to his dad about what he was doing, and it wasn't a secret in the family.
I said it at the top of the show, and I'll say it again here at the bottom. Whenever you want to know what's really going on, just ask yourself, who stands to benefit from this lie and this corruption?
Yep.
Follow the money. Stay aware. Richard, your final words.
Get to Waldorf. It's going to be a great time.
Yes, October 25th at 10 a.m.
We the people.
All the information will be on our Cloud Hub page. All the information will be on our Facebook page. Do not go anywhere because Rocky Stucci coming up.